Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
Good evening. My name has not changed. My name remains Azuh, Arinze. And my guest tonight is Mr. James Iyke Asomora, popularly known as Jim Iyke. Born over 40 years ago in a family of 7 and with him as the only male child. Jim Iyke is an actor, producer, director, businessman, etc., etc. A native of Enugu Agidi in Anambra State. He has a diploma in banking and finance and a degree in philosophy, both from the University of Jos. A black belt holder in Taekwondo. Among his popular works are Last Flight to Abuja, Merry Men, American Driver, $1, Stalker, When Love Comes Around, etc., etc. Friends and fans, followers and well-wishers, we are hoping that any moment from now, Jim will be joining us. All right, my first question is, what has been happening to Jim?
Well, for my best interest, and you might begin to term it as a mental pursuit. There's no how you can be on the same pursuit for as long as I have without losing steam, for lack of better term. At some point, I think after the 10th year or 11th or 12th year, I can't exactly recall, I just needed to do something else. I'm a graduate of 2 disciplines. I asked myself the inevitable question: is this it for me? Is it acting and producing and being in front of the camera? Is that what that's my legacy? Is that what I'm going to leave on the sands of time? Is that all I'm going to be known for? So I decided let me go do something else. So I went back to America. I did my postgraduate. I helped raise my son, and not forget the whole pursuit of this establishment can totally make you forget family matters. I've never
I
really
agree with you.
sacrificed for cause in my life, and I thought, what worthwhile sacrifice would I make if not for my son? We just had my son then, so I at that point I was facing the two extremities of life. I just lost my mom at that time, space of 3 4 months, So I decided I was gonna, leave the shores of the country, go to the US. We started a logistic company. I went back to school to, play around a bit and set myself on a path of rediscovering myself. It was an environment I wasn't really used to. I had been famous for so long in my life. I didn't know how to incorporate myself back into normal life, waking up with somebody not drawing up my schedule. getting ahead with so many things about life. So it was all novelty. It was like reliving my life all over again. But one that I met those challenges with so much relish, and it was amazing. So I wanted this for myself. I wanted to this hiatus for myself. I'd given over 1.5 decade of my life to this establishment. I've earned the right to come and go as I please. So it's only fair that once in a while I rediscover another part of me. So we established a lot of business portfolio while I was away. I'm in logistics. I co-own a logistic company. I co-own a travel agency with two sites here. It's called Mercury Travels. I co-own a real estate development company with my brother-in-law. We founded it 3 years ago. It's doing extremely well right now. Um, I co-own several Airbnb. We got into that business as well that we developed just for that function, that service. So yeah, a lot goes on behind the scene that it's not when you're posting it all over social media and acting of that, but we're doing a lot.
I like that. I like that. Now you have a new film, Bad Comments. Tell us about
Yeah.
it.
I thought I needed a story that was going to resonate with the times. A story that I don't care if you're 2 years old or it doesn't matter if you're 80 years old. There's a common denominator, a space that I think all of us, one way or the other, finds ourselves in that we can resonate with, and that is the internet, and furthermore, the social media space. So I wanted a story that was universally viable, a story that everybody can resonate to, that can connect everybody to, irrespective of creed, religion, class, race. It really doesn't matter status and gender. I wanted something that will connect the dots with everybody. Yes, our stories are amazing. Our stories they're singular, they're very special, very akin to our history. Um, Yes, the stories they make in Hollywood, a lot of us cannot connect with it entirely. But what about a story that can connect us as a people, as cohabitants of this planet called Earth? What about a story that can connect us together? Now, you will understand it as an Igbo man, the Yoruba man will understand it, the Jewish white guy will understand it, the Spanish guy, the Italian guy will understand that space. It's a very difficult space to create a story that can resonate with everybody. Where did I find this story? My long-time collaborator, Moses Inwan, who also directed it, we're on the set of Merriment 2. And we're going upstairs to our room in the elevator. And he started telling me about this story about a certain top actor that was caught in the whole fiasco of the bloggers going after him and posting something that was threatening his marriage at that point. Now, this gentleman in question was dismayed, was disgruntled at that time, always walking away from the set to go sit down by himself and think about his life. And we started thinking, how about if we create a story, a
Around
celebrity,
it.
about the one common denominator everybody can resonate with? That is the
Hmm.
internet space, the social media space.
Hmm.
And so that gave birth
Interesting.
to Bad Comments. Bad Comments is you, as Arinze. Bad Comments is me, Chimai. Bad Comments is everybody on this. Everybody has had an experience with social media, either for the good or worse reason,
For the
or for the
bad.
bad
That's true.
reason. Either as a victim, as a troll. So it's a space that I thought, let me give a certain perspective people have not seen before, especially from this side of the divide.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Now, when is Bad Comments going to be in the market, and who, other than you, starred in the film?
I think the question is who is not on it. Yeah,
I like that. Who is not
yeah.
there?
Everybody is not who is not on it. It took us
Ah.
fun. I didn't want to make the typical anything that can be put in a box that can be labeled a Nollywood film, or I made a film that you picture. Yes, the genesis is here. It's locally grown talent, and we can take viably to any platform in the world, beating our chest, not tongue in cheek whatsoever. This was a story of stories. This is something I had to make that was totally different.
Story of stories. I
We
like
have to
that.
pull this stuff. We have to bring everybody on. I'm on it. Osas is on it. Osas Igadora is on it.
You go that.
Sharon is on it. Mama G is on it. Chiwatal is on it. Daddy Freeze is on it. Desmond Elliott is on it. Young John, the wicked producer, is on it. Special Spesh is on it. AY is on it. Rugged Man is on it. Timaya is on
Mm,
it.
mm.
Ini Edo is on it. Francis Duru is on it. There's so many other young
It's a
upcoming that
star-studded,
actually really,
yeah.
yeah, it
It's a
is.
star-studded theme. All
We
right.
went all out. We went all out.
Yes. Now I need us to step backward a bit. What exactly
Mhm.
got you interested in acting?
Um, I think it's one of those awakenings that you can't exactly understand what propels you at that point. Obviously, as I got better grounded in the industry and got older, I understood the responsibilities that was trusted to me. A lot of us didn't understand it. Don't also forget that we didn't have any management that would give us pointers or groom us properly in this whole atmosphere of fame and and the blessing that's been entrusted to us, so to speak. I I was done with school really early, got my first degree when I was barely 19 and a half, and I didn't know what to do after that. I just wanted to take some time out. And, my dad was pushing so hard, putting things together to send me away, to Canada or the US, was making preparation for whichever one that clicks first. I'll get my master's done, get my PhD done. But something in me didn't want to do that. I just wanted
Mm.
something different. I remember I was in Union Bank, serving there, and a lot of, there's this dude that used to come that time and say, "Hey, you belong to another world. You belong to," he kept putting it in my ear. There's a certain way someone says something that begins to, reverberate with your inner person. But I could not put my finger on it. Down the line, I was in Lagos visiting an old friend of mine, and there was a call for audition. I did well in the audition. I just went there. They say, "Hey, I like your looks. I like the way you're dressed. Come be part of it." Now, I'm third generation Nollywood. First generation being Kenneth Okonkwo and, the group that came with that. The
Living
second
in bondage
generation
group.
being Ramsey and Mickey K, Kate Henshaw. Those were the people of the moment, my beloveds. They were there. They were people when we were in college, we look up to. I wanted to be that guy. Anytime these guys show up, we all lose. Everybody loses their girlfriend in whichever school they show up. No exception. Nobody gives a damn about you anymore. So, well, this movie, I was expected to do local parlance, what is termed as waka pass. It was an extra. Yeah. So I got there and my girlfriend was cheering me on like, "Hey, go baby, you got this. You're better looking than those guys." Well, I wasn't feeling it though, but I'm like, "Okay, thank you for for the encouragement." So I got there. The assistant director, Kash Wachiku of blessed memory, saw me, liked me, and said, "Hey, come on, I want you to play with Ramsey." All of a sudden, I was in the scene with Ramsey. Ramsey used to tease me about it till tomorrow. And I was looking at Ramsey and the set action, Azuh Afros. I could not, the billard was, the snooker board, I was resting on the snooker board, the snookers, I could not move the ball. I couldn't do anything. I just flew. I forgot my lines. I forgot everything in its entirety. And you know how it is with our industry. They didn't spare their tongue. They said, "Because where you get this mugu from? Where you get this mugu from?" So I mean, come on, this idiot fine boy for nothing. They don't let me do anything. Just they work the video with the fake American. They abused the hell out of
The
me.
hell out of you.
They cussed me out. They didn't even hide it. The worst part was that they were going to pay me 2,000 naira. I told them, okay, since you guys don't want me, can I get my money? They said, well, come on, get that idiot. You have the money. We don't waste our time finish. And Ramsey was so mad. Ramsey was threatening him, was going to leave set, blah, blah, blah. I came out. So my first odyssey into acting was a complete disaster. But I'll tell you what, people misconstrued what transpired that day. That day, a lot of people saw a failure at this. I was so excited that day, Azuh, that I could not move. Something hit me like, this is really what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's just that I was running, so much emotions was running through my mind at that time that I could not physically translate it into kinetic action. I couldn't move. I was immobile. So I got out and I told my girlfriend right there and then that this is what I want to do. Now the problem was convincing my parents. When I told my dad the first time that I wanted to act, my dad 2 minutes. After laughing, he checked me and said, in way back, away in like let me translate. He said, you have fever. Yeah, as that fever come back again because I had a cold 3 weeks before that. So it was like he calls me woke him Nolad. Like my man, my dad calls my man. He's like, my man, consider, let me tell you, this our plan is working well, or you soon leave, So wrap things up. You will soon be leaving. Our relationship quickly degenerated after that when he found out that it wasn't just a cursory or passing fancy for me, that this is what I wanted to do. And he told me to leave the house, that if I'm not going to listen to him, if I want to throw my life away and go hang out with those loafers, I should get out of his house. My mom made a great argument though. My mom said, listen, how many of his mates out of school at this time? Just give him a year or two. Let him go play. He needs it. He can't ostracize his life. He can't just, doctor his life like that. You're going to ostracize him. Just let him go, play a little bit. Maybe when he's 20, he's seen a little bit of the world. Because all my life, I've been like that model son. This was my first act of rebellion. That's why he couldn't handle it. That's why you show your parents who you really are on time.
On time.
Because the man couldn't handle my first act of rebellion at all. He just thought this one is going to be suffering. Let me throw him out. After 2 weeks, he will reset his head and come back to him.
Yes. All right. So what was the title of your first film? Can you remember the title?
My first film, I can't remember. For the life of me, I can't remember. I just remember because it was my first endeavor. I vividly recall everything that happened. But how can I remember a film that they threw me out of the set in less than 20 minutes I've been there?
It's all right. Now, when you started out, who gave you the biggest encouragement, and what exactly did the person do?
Funny enough, the encouragement didn't come from my family. The person that would have been my greatest motivator, later, happened to be my mom. Okay, she saw the light long before everybody understood what the light even meant in the first place. I was a really quiet kid. I'm the only son with 6 sisters. So when everybody's downstairs discussing fashion and shoes and boyfriends and their husband, I had nothing to contribute. So I would myself upstairs. Books. I'm still an avid reader. I love books. Books have always been my escape in every time of my life. Films became my escape. I had imaginary, I just built my life around myself to a point I really didn't need anybody. Seriously, I know. And that was where I think my imagination became extraordinary. I can bring anything to the exact picture of what I want. It's very mnemonic. It's extraordinary. Seriously, I've been told I can imagine anything I wanted into reality. So that was what was the situation for me that time. I was lost for a while because I didn't have the support of the people that I'm used to having support from. But I met somebody then. I met somebody that was really interesting, somebody I dated that time. She was awesome. She was totally awesome. She would speak
Okay,
into my life
I
very
know
funny
about
things.
the person. I know about the
No, it's not
person,
that
but
person. It's not that person.
uh,
It's not that person.
oh, another one.
No, it's
All
not that
right.
person. That was that
Okay.
person. You met me and that person when we were already in the industry. I'm talking about from inception,
Okay,
when the
before, all
auditions
right.
were going on. Yeah, when the
Okay.
auditions were going on. When we didn't know my next meal. When I didn't know where to
All
lay
right.
my head. I just left
Mm.
home. This was someone I dated right from school that
Wow.
told me that I'm born for this. I didn't see it even in myself. I just thought then what
Mm.
was propelling me was just rebellion. I didn't want to go home and tell them I failed. You understand? I just wanted to be as stubborn about it, as obstinate about it as possible, then go home and tell them, well, it didn't work out. But this person told
All right.
me that what she sees
It
is
will work
somebody
out.
that's created for this. Seriously. Yeah.
Interesting.